You know, this video is very hard for me to do, but it's been on my mind to do so. I have multiple channels, but those channels don't really fit the criteria for this kind of video. But that's neither here nor there. Now, I've been struggling with depression since I was 8 years old, so over 20 years now. And I've been in countless counseling sessions and, different medications, yeah, all that. And I have like a support system. I have a media family. I also have a circle of people that I trust with my life. They're very supportive. Majority of the time. People are human. They're not perfect. But basically, when I want to touch on is like living in depression or living with depression. And now I have literally been diagnosed with depression for years now. As I've stated, I've been on different meds for it. Um, when you live with depression, you never know how your day is gonna go. You never know, before you go to sleep, and you could be having the best day ever. You never know, like if you're just gonna wake up in a bad mood, or depressing mood. And I'm not even talking about just you just in a bad mood, and you can cover it up, you can mask it. Nah, I'm talking about the kind of sadness where you just feel hopeless, you feel empty, you don't want to do anything, you don't really want to talk to nobody. But then at the same time, you want to actually talk to somebody, but you don't want to talk to somebody because you don't want to bring them down. You know, it goes hand in hand with never really feeling good enough for anything, no matter what it is. Could be, you know, something small like a video game or something large like a career. You just feel like you're not good enough. You feel like you're not good enough to be anybody's friend, you know. And then, when you fall out with somebody, it's like a huge, like you blame yourself. Even if you guys came to terms with it, it's their fault, it's them, they just moved on or whatever. You still put it on yourself, like maybe if I acted this way or did this, but I don't know. My depression is so severe that I don't think there's any way to actually get around it. So what I always had instilled in my mind since I was a preteen, early teenager is if I can't be happy, then I want other people around me to be happy. So the worst kind of depression is depression that you cover up. When you're out and about, you smile in everybody's face, but you torn up on the inside. So when you go home, it's like you're so exhausted to the point where you don't want to be around a lot of people for a lengthy amount of time. It's not even like a physical tired, it's like a really severe mental tired. You know, you just you just always feel so weak on the inside. I always say or always think that I'm not good enough or I'm never gonna amount to anything. And I don't know how to really turn it around. I'm at the stage in my life where, due to like certain circumstances where I was hospitalized, I pretty much went from a popular person to hardly having any friends at all. And it gets lonely sometimes. Like I said, I have a support system, but like the people in my support system, they have their own lives. And I go weeks without seeing them, at a time. So spending all this time alone, it's not really beneficial for me, mentally. Now, another thing is, um, it can be very difficult to really accept not being accepted. Like the average person doesn't really care about like a severe depression, a severe depressing person. When they're not accepted by a group of people, no matter how small, no matter how large, in the back of our minds, it's just always like, well, I'm not good enough. No wonder, then like it just snowballs into a whole nother thing. You feel me? So when that happens, man, you guessed it, isolation. How I deal with my severe depression is, isolation. When I have nothing to do, when I don't have to go to work or whatever, I really just isolate in the house. I don't really talk to too many people. I have, a brother, obviously my immediate family. I have all their numbers. Um, and it's a couple other people that I talk to on, like a day-to-day basis. But it just gets to the point where I don't really want to bother them. I don't want to bring anybody down. So it's a lot of things that I don't really speak on to people because I don't want to bring them down. Like if I was just completely honest, it would really bring people down. That's not what I really want to do. You know, Fortunately for me, I am a writer. People probably want to know, do you cut yourself? Do you do anything, physically to harm yourself? It's not really to that level. Like just because you're depressed doesn't mean you're automatically going to, cut yourself or whatever. But, I do go through phases where I consume liquor, marijuana, but I refuse to go to like coke, crack, and different pills because that kind of stuff alters you too much. But even with the liquor and the marijuana, like I don't indulge in it that much. It's just kind of like just a relief from like the things I go through mentally. And even though people say it's a temporary relief, that temporary relief is better than no relief. That's just how I look at it. So that's why I don't judge people that indulge in that to like a daily thing, because you never know what they're going through. But yeah, man, living with depression, man, like it'll sap the energy out of you. Some days, man, like I really have no energy, you know, and I really do be feeling like I don't have anybody, even though I know I do. It's just like when you are alone, 98% of the time, it doesn't really do much for your mental state because then you wonder, especially coming from me, it used to be popular. Everybody wanted to talk to me. Everybody was hitting my line to the point where like I would like make up excuses to not chill with somebody, because yeah, I was just getting like, it goes back to like me being mentally exhausted, but it was never. I would never like leave somebody out in the cold because I knew how that felt like. But those same people that I was always there for left me out in the cold, and it leaves a bad taste in your mouth with people. It leaves a bad taste in your mouth with people. But my outlet, besides what I told y'all, is like music. Whether I'm listening to other people or whether I'm making my own. That's my outlet. You know, I feel like whatever I say on the record is art. You know, I want to say if anybody checks it out or whatever, I want to say at least 80% of it is like my real life, like my real what I go through. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll leave the remaining 20% up to y'all to decide. What is real and what's what would you say fabricated or whatever. But yeah, man, I ain't gonna keep y'all all day, man. This video's not even supposed to be that long. I just wanted to touch on what it's like, and I really do. I feel like there's no help for me. I've tried everything. I've literally tried everything. Feeling won't go away. I feel like the only way they'll go away is in death, and praying for your death every night, every morning, it doesn't happen. It depresses you even further. But yeah, man, this see how it's out.